In the filming, we used this camera, which is a Nikon D3200. This was my first personal experience using an SLR camera, and so at the beginning of filming, as it was only me and Andrea, we both struggled to get used to this kind of camera. However, as filming went on, we became fully familiarised and were definitely more comfortable with this type of camera. As well as this, we had to learn how to effectively use the tripod in order to get the best shots that we could, as well as keeping it in the right place for continuity, such as shots for over the shoulder shots and eyeline matches. In terms of editing, during our preliminary, we found it extremely difficult to import film and made a lot of mistakes, which caused us losing a lot of different clips and other errors. However, now we're very used to this technology, and I can easily and competently import a lot of different clips into Final Cut and arrange them in such an order that it looks smooth and professional. And then when it came to actually editing our preliminary, we found it a very long process of actually cutting the clips and getting them exact in order to keep continuity. However, after learning all the shortcuts and the different techniques on the Mac, it became a lot easier to use, and we can quickly and easily edit any piece of film that we're given to get the desired effect. We also learned how to put titles on the film, whether it was overlaying the titles on the actual scenes that are playing or separate title slides for the production company that we made and the title of our film. For this, we used a lot of transitions from Final Cut in pre-installed software. The transitions at the beginning weren't difficult to use, however I do feel like it was a good thing to learn how to do and to know that they're available, as it vastly improved the quality of our film. And overall, we just had to become competent with the Macs and the shortcuts and software in order to get the desired effect in a quick and easy way. The main problem with our editing had to be the lighting. Some of our clips had the wrong colours and the wrong undertones, and they looked extremely irregular and out of place with the other clips in our film. To overcome this, we had to learn how to change the colouring and the brightness of our clips. But some of the clips were so bad that when we tried to adjust the brightness or the colouring, it just completely lost the quality of the film and went grainy, so we ended up having to refilm these in a completely different location, as Maeve's house wasn't available and neither was Tiernan. Because the lighting was so different in school, it was difficult for us to get the clips to match the lighting in the rest of the film. However, I definitely think we did this very effectively, and we learnt a lot about the different effects of lighting, such as saturation and exposure and shadows on clips. But I think it's definitely a very good skill that I've gained from this. Andrea and I were in charge of most of the sound, and we had to learn how to expand the audio and video, such as in the clip of Will texting, the audio just wasn't loud enough and it wasn't effective, so we had to make the sounds clearer and more effective. We also had to reduce background noise, which we didn't come across in our preliminary, but we easily learned how to do this, as it's a very easy but useful effect on Final Cut. In the first opening shot, we're outside and it was a very windy day, so we had to remove this, as well as overlay the radio clip to kind of get rid of it even more, as it wasn't completely possible to remove the background noise without removing all sound. There was a lot of places where we had to create Foley using our own equipment or the pre-installed sounds in the Mac. I recorded the music using my laptop and GarageBand, which I'll talk about later. But we had to learn how to use this software and how to drag and drop it into Final Cut, as well as how to make it sound natural and keep the timing straight with the video. For the dialogue that is played in the radio clip, we used iPhones to record the voiceovers, and we also used a MacBook to chop and change it in GarageBand as well. But we had to become very competent in how to send different voice clips between all our different pieces of technology, such as the laptop, the Mac, and the iPhone. When it came to balancing sound, it was necessary for our radio clip, our music, and our dialogue to all be evenly balanced, that it looked natural and professional. For our radio clip, there was parts of it that had to be played throughout the whole film in order for Andrea's comment to make sense. However, we didn't want the radio clip to overpower the dialogue when the two boys were on FaceTime. In order to make this sound natural, I learned how to use the fade handles on Final Cut. So what we did is we split the two clips so that we could change the volume in either, and so that the volume wasn't an immediate jump, we used the fade handles to fade it in and out, so that it sounded a lot more natural. Another form of editing that I learned was GarageBand, and I definitely feel like this was my biggest learning curve throughout the whole process of this film. I first of all had to record the music and using a guitar and my voice, and I quickly became accustomed to the different mics. I learned that I didn't like the mic on the Mac as there was too much reverb, and I found that the most effective mic was actually the mic on my earphones. I learned how to put different effects onto GarageBand, such as the radio effect and the telephone effect, which made it sound more authentic as the radio that we used was a lot older, and we didn't want it to seem unnatural. Personally, I liked the telephone effect and the radio effect on GarageBand, as I found that it was the most natural sounding through the radio that we were using. I had to cut and edit clips for the radio conversation as well, and I used the same effects on these as they were intended to come from the same place, so I had to match up these two pieces of audio in order to make it sound natural and to make it flow. I definitely learned how to use GarageBand very confidently and how to change volumes and tones in order to create a smooth and overall effect. So this was definitely my biggest learning curve throughout the whole process. As I said, I decided to use the telephone effect for the radio clip and the song. However, before deciding this, I explored lots of different effects and also played around with the equalizer. I also used the Warm British Combo and World's Smallest Amp effects for the song, as these were similar. However, I learned how to further adjust these effects in GarageBand and Final Cut so that they were more realistic when put in the movie. This was done by changing the dynamics, and some screenshots will be included in the slide that I've attached in my emails.